Hey everybody, welcome back to Drive Safe, Drive Smart here on WDEL, 1150 AM, 1017 FM, and online at WDEL.com. You can also check us out on the WDEL app if you happen to download it. I use it every day myself. It's a great app. I love it. But I'm Greg Buckley, your host here for Drive Safe, Drive Smart every Sunday at 10 a.m. And today, to continue on with our show, we want to talk about DIY or DIFM, which is do it for me. Two ways that you can take care of, have your car serviced. One, do it yourself. Two, you have a professional take care of it. But before we start, I want to make sure that I cover some of the local communities that are down in the Lewis and also here in the Newcastle area. Um, and if you're in the Lewis and Rehoboth area, uh, you want to check out Paul Cares and the Room at Cedar Grove. If you're out looking for a really nice time, a beautiful dinner, some great music, always some fantastic wine and drink, you want to treat yourself to a night of a show and dinner at Paul's Room. You have acts that are local, regional, and of course national sometimes. It all benefits kids who are looking for a career in the culinary or musical arts, and we're proud to support them, and I want to give them a shout out because they deserve it. It's a great time, a night out. It's only 65 uh, seats, so it's very compact and very intimate, and the artists that play there are just amazing. So really owe it to yourself to take a look, see what you got, and enjoy a nice evening out. It really will. It's great entertainment, and it's all gone to a very good cause. Now, the other one that we really like to talk about is Sam's Kids up here in the Newcastle area, started by the Harvey Hanna team here locally in the Newport. They have Camp Out for Coats, Operation Warmth, and recently we just did the fun run down in Run for Sam down at Dewey Beach. A lot of fun. It all goes to helping kids in many ways, whether it's coats, education, um, hobby. I mean, they've got their own Sam's Farm now. It's growing. So again, two charities that really are a lot of fun. In November, Sam's Kids is having their Camp Out for Coats. It's right in downtown Newport. You got to show up. It's a lot of fun. If you want to camp out, hey, you're more than welcome. Tents are there, s'mores, campfires, and a lot of friendship. I can say that right now. And as for Paul Cares, October 8th, you golfers out there, and I'm raising my hand because I'm one of them. Please join us for the second annual Rockin' Golf tournament held at Mulligan's Point down there in Georgetown. It's always a great time. You can go to paulcares.org and sign up for that event. Get yourself some golfers. Come on down. Mulligan's Point is playing fairly well, but it's always a great time to hang out with some good friends. And again, all for a great cause. So I want to give those two organizations a shout because I've owed them a couple over the last couple of weeks. So anyway, back to what we're talking about. Do it for me or DIY. There's two ways of thoughts, and over the last couple of decades, cars have become so complicated that the DIY market, I can't say it's shrinking, but certainly there's a lot of things that just aren't capable of doing for most common situations. Yes, changing your oil and filter is probably the last things that be able to do on your own if you're capable of. But again, you need to know the vehicle and how you can operate on it, and just not operate in it, but operate on it. So you need to study and learn, even the simplest of, like I said, oil changes, because there's now belly pans and covers. There's specific oils. There's even type of filter gaskets that have to be adhered to in order for you not to have an incident like loss of oil. So these things are critical. Uh, your tires and wheels, rotating tires, are they directional? Um, are they like two different sizes, front to rear? What's your torque spec? What's the air pressure? All of these come into play, and it's not always easy to get to know your vehicle, and you certainly don't want to make a critical mistake. On your hybrids, hey, if you're not careful, they actually can seriously hurt you. That orange cable coming up from the bottom of that vehicle, that's orange for a reason, and that is high voltage coming down those lines, and they're running into the engine compartment where the inverters are and all the other controllers. And so, not being careful in and around that area can lead to a serious injury. So, again, it's not that no one lets you not work on your car. In fact, Right to Repair is all about letting you work on your own vehicle with the right information, the right tools, and your ability to understand the systems that you're working on. We had an incident the other day down in Millsboro where a gentleman who had a lot of time on his hands, and let's face it, you're retired, you think you can tinker, and good for you. It's great that you can tinker, but know your system. Well, he didn't know what his own vehicle was like. In doing so, he thought that he could go out and simply change a headlamp. And you're thinking to yourself, well, gosh, what's a headlamp? You open the hood, you get to the right or left side, you pull a bulb out, you put a bulb in, you replug it and go, right? Plug and play. Well, not so much on his Acura. Some systems today, in fact, I think a lot of them have these high intensity bulbs, lamp systems, where they have modules and what they call igniters. Well, in this particular case, this igniter had the bulb left out, and clearly the warning on it says do not leave the igniter unplugged when you are working on this system. Reason being is if the ignition is to turn on for any reason or the lights are to come on, it'll throw up to 12,000 volts, or excuse me, 25,000 volts. And that voltage has to go somewhere. In this particular case, the gentleman was working on his vehicle inside his garage, and he fortunately thought that, well, I can't complete this. I'm going to call us, and he did. And he drove the vehicle over. When he dropped the vehicle off, we're not sure because the car caught on fire while he was delivering the keys to us and the counter. We think what happened was he may have locked the car. When he locked the car, the high intensity lights flashed as a security situation. When they did, that one igniter sparked and it created a meltdown of the vehicle. And you can see pictures of the video of the vehicle on our website or on our YouTube channel and on our social media. But what happened was it totally destroyed the vehicle. I mean, it melted the front part of the grille, the light housing, and the engine. And that vehicle was destroyed, all because of leaving a bulb out, not knowing what these systems are all about. You have to understand that cars being as technical as they are, you better understand what you're doing because you can have a serious accident, a shock, which would absolutely knock your socks off and could do physical harm to you. And you don't want that. You don't want to have an emergency just because you decided to work on your car. It's always good to know it. We're not here to tell you that you can't work on your car. However, if you decide to do that, you want to make sure you know the ins and outs, the in-betweens, and everything around it. There's a lot of injuries that go on with working on your own car. The other thing is jacks. Where do you jack the vehicle up at? There are certain points that you cannot jack a car, or you'll have a very upset chassis ride afterwards, especially if you're working on some of the higher end vehicles. There are lift points. The jack that you have, you must have a jack stand. You don't rely on the jack. Do not put yourself in a situation where you are holding the car up with the jack and you're working on the wheel, around the wheel, or under the wheel, or even under the vehicle with only that jack holding you up. That is not a good thing. You cannot do that. All right. So, again, give us a call at 302-999-8285 or 302-947-4148 for our Millsboro location. Visit us online at buckleysAutoCare.com. We hope that you are enjoying what you're hearing. If you have any questions, please give us a call or email us at radio@buckleysAutoCare.com. My name is Greg Buckley, Buckley's Auto Care, Wilmington and Millsboro. Like they say, from the bricks to the beaches. We're here every Sunday on WDEL.com, 10 a.m., 11:50 a.m., and 101.7 FM on your radio dial. We'll see you next week at Drive Safe, Drive Smart.